Hey guys, so I made a terrarium intentionally this time. So have a look. There you go. Some of you, I'm sorry about the reflections. I'll show you a better picture. Um, but yeah, so some of you might have seen in the community tab that I was watching a video about a 12-year-old terrarium with like all these critters and it's self-sustaining and um, yeah, it just kind of was on my mind a bit. And then, of course, once you watch one video, YouTube starts showing you more stuff. So I'm sorry about the dog snoring as well. There's rugby going on in the other room, and so I've actually got both of them sheltering in here from the boys occasionally yelling at the TV as if the TV can hear. But anyway, um, yeah, no, that 12-year-old terrarium, he goes on about how it's self-sustaining, and you start watching it going, gee, I could get a god complex from this, and then reading the comments and whatever, and yeah, checked out some more of his stuff, and he just like goes to a stream and gets a bunch of rocks and puts it in a jar, and then scoops up some water and puts some little plant things in there, and then there's life going on. I'm like, okay, cool. But no, what finally got me to have a go is I came across a different YouTuber, and I guess maybe I'll put the link thingy in whichever corner it is, I don't remember. Um, but yeah, so it's like how to do it for free, like how to do a simple terrarium for free. Because to get things nicely, you need to have the bottom layer like they call it a false bottom, so that's where the water sort of sits, and then you're supposed to try and separate it from the dirt, um, just to keep things nice. And what mostly gets recommended is this weird mesh stuff, and I'm like, if I have to put that much effort in, I'm not doing it. But this free tutorial, like how to do it for free thing, was like, just get a bit of plastic and poke some holes in it. So that's what I did. And what it took me about 10 minutes maybe to put this all together. I used bonsai pebbles in the bottom, the pebbles that I use for my bonsai drainage layer. Then there's the plastic, and then there's soil from a couple of different spots in the garden. And also, I put in some dry soil from a different spot and just sort of mixed it up a little bit. Because why not? And then I just scrounged around for different weeds and moss. I know, like, I've got a bonsai pot actually that just has some moss growing in it so that I always know where some is. But there's moss like everywhere if you look hard enough. And then there's like a grass thing there and some little weeds that grow around my bonsai area. And then there's this funny thing which I don't know if I've shown you it flowering in my weed cup, but it's a thing. And like there's more as well. There's I think like those little clovers. Don't know what any of them are actually called. And then some other weeds, like there was one that was stuck to a bit of moss, so I just left it in there. There's also a couple of bits of grass that came like as I was shoveling the dirt that just were in there. So, and I didn't notice as I was picking them up, but they're in there now, and we'll see how it goes. I do not know which plants will survive because they're just from my garden. Like with the humidity, I don't know, with all the moisture, I don't even know if I've put the right amount of water in there yet, so I've got to watch it for a bit. And if it gets too soggy all the time, I'll just have to open it up and let a bit of water out until I sort of feel like I've got a balance. But yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see how things survive. They might not survive, but that's okay. I wrote, like, I've been going through a rough time, and I wrote on Facebook about making this jar. But yeah, basically, I'll just read it to you. So, coping with oncoming depression, destroy Americo style. Kidnap nature and trap it in a jar. If it lives, I become God. If it dies, I cackle, for I am destroyer of tiny worlds. If it turns into more than a one-off impulsive hobby, I end up going on bushwalks to kidnap more varieties of nature and start collecting jars in a vegetarian version of a very messed up script I once wrote for someone I met on DeviantArt way back. And since I already like collecting weeds for their post-apocalyptic potential, to my parents, if you're reading this, maybe brace yourselves. Yeah. So, yeah, I've just... in the last video, not the live stream, in the last video I filmed, I mentioned, like, having gotten my hair done. I'm in that sort of now what? And it's been a really rough week. I just feeling down a lot. And then this morning I was actually really quite bad. I just, burst into tears. Like, Dad's like, how are you this morning? Because I got up earlier than normal and I just was like, man, couldn't say anything and just, yeah, he sort of hugged me and then just let me do my thing. Because, like, I don't even know what's wrong, really. Like, what's wrong with my life apart from it being boring? And I could solve it by being boring if I could just think of more stuff to do, but, running out of stuff. But I haven't done terrariums before. I don't even know if I'm saying the word right. So, potential new hobby, at least for the short term, and hopefully that'll get me through for a while. We'll see, because I always need something, right? But I guess one of the things that attracted me to it is like I already work with plants, and then if some of you have seen my post-apocalyptic weed cup project from that I did in uni, I was already starting to collect weeds, and yeah, those two of those cups I still have, and they're still growing. So yay, that's me doing that with like no knowledge of stuff, just being like, well, they're weeds, they'll grow basically anywhere, right? So, you know, maybe this could become some kind of a hobby, at least in the short term. But given I already work with plants, like bonsai is one of my jobs, there might be some potential here. I have no idea if there's any little organisms like little insects or whatever in there. I just grabbed whatever soil and was like, meh. And I got some of the soil I got from a dodgy corner of the garden. So yeah, I have no idea. But I thought I'd just grab from there. But if you remember aunt my ant ventures, which I know most of you guys hated and didn't watch very much of, but there were like a couple of episodes of that where I found like little wormy things in the soil of that, and I was just trying to create an ant habitat with like zero knowledge of how to do that for ants, and I still got weird little wormy things, so maybe I'll get weird little wormy things in this jar. We'll see. It'll take a while to stabilize, I think, and then we'll start seeing which plants live and die. Because, yeah, you want more, like, I guess, rainforesty type things. I don't know, something that can stand the humidity, especially if I've put too much water in there. Also, I didn't have, so if you watch the tutorial, I guess I'll put that in the description as well, rather than just the card, because I can only link to the card once. No, there's things I didn't do the same, like using bonsai pebbles rather than just pebbles I found around the place. But also I didn't have any like clean water. I just used tap water. Actually, I got the water out of the kettle, so like it's been boiled. I don't know if that helps. Um, yeah, no. So we'll see how it goes. But if it dies, who cares? I just try again with some different setup. It didn't cost me anything. I just grabbed a jar. Mum has a whole bunch of jars just for stuff, and um, yeah, I just chucked a bunch of things in it. And like if it turns into a hobby, if it turns into a hobby, and I, jars start taking over my life, it could happen because I get carried away sometimes. But there is that potential. Like, what if I want to go for a bushwalk to find stuff? That would motivate me to get out of the house and go on a bushwalk. Whereas at the moment, if you asked me to go for a bushwalk, I'd just be like, oh, fuck, why? Why are we going for a bushwalk where I'm just going to get tired and dirty and not really enjoy myself? But if I have a mission, that's different. Like when I was last depressed, and I went to Japan and I was specifically trying to find gothic type clothes. At the time, I was looking for things for AD Destroyer. That didn't come out for ages though, so a bit of disappointment there. Um, but at the time, I was like, I am on a mission. I'm trying to find clothes for this project and in general, and retail therapy. There you go. And so maybe I go on weed collecting therapy and just I don't know, but I gotta be careful because like depending on where you bushwalk, you're not supposed to take things out of the environment, so I'd have to go to like more casual places, not proper bushwalks. um yeah, so yeah, but I don't know if I'd get that carried away. I guess we'll see. At the moment, it's new, so I'm like, maybe I would. But once I watch this for a while, I'll probably be a bit like, shit, hey. On the other hand, making it was a bit like making a landscape bonsai, which I do at work a lot, and it's like one of the more fun things to do, because you get rocks and you place them and you try and balance them out with the plants, which was tricky to do because I had to use tweezers for this. With bonsai, it's easier because things are bigger and yeah. But no, I think I did okay balancing it for a first try. Like, you've got the rock, and it's got a clear front, and then you've got all that. And it's just like, is it gonna survive? I don't know. I may have to like replace things in there once I figure out what lives and what dies. Um, yeah, no, my mood. I don't know what's going on. I think it's just like biologically, I'm prone to feel, and also I don't know, there's just not a lot going on in my life. And there's only so much I can really do, and I'm trying to think, okay, like I should go places, but why? Like I'm not the kind of person who can just go places randomly. I need a mission, and if this becomes a hobby, yeah, bushwalking, maybe. I could even go with people who actually like bushwalking, but I'd have my own agenda, wouldn't I? So yeah, stuff and things. That's all I've got. Really, an 11.5 minute video? That feels a bit short for me, but I don't know. I'll go watch Angel after I gotta edit this video first, so by the time I'm done, maybe I won't have time for Angel. I did go to bed. Here, let's ramble a bit more. I did go to bed earlier last night. I just woke up feeling miserable anyway, so no, that's all I've got. Sleeping early doesn't really help that much. Bye. Okay, fine, one last thing. This kid with his little blep. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's been looking after me today because I've been feeling so crap. And yeah, no. We went out for a WALK twice, and he'd even been on one before that with the parents. So he got 3 today. I got 2. The second time we just did the same route but in reverse. And yeah, no, I like after the first round, I went back to bed for a bit, and then it was just sort of wandering around. Actually, this morning, no. So let's go a bit longer. So this morning, what happened? I got up earlier than normal. I had a little bit of a sob, but then I eventually like got dressed, took him out, did some bonsai, took some wire off some of the plants where it was cutting in, put a bit of wire on some other things, and then basically that's all I had the energy for. I went back to bed because I was kind of feeling like this odd dizziness, and I think like I don't know, maybe it's to do with depression, headache, or maybe I've got some other problem, like I might be sick. I don't know. Snoring dog, I'm sorry. Anyway, eventually I got up, and I don't know when I had lunch, but I was just like standing around, and this guy comes up to me and he goes scritch, scritch, scritch on my leg. And so then we were playing with his, no, he went to the toy basket and he was like, get a thing out here for me. So I showed him so many different things, and eventually he settled on this rope pull toy, and we just played tug of war. He went nuts with it. He took it away into the other room and was like thrashing it around, and then eventually wanted me to play, and so we were playing tug of war. And yeah, and then he just like all afternoon sort of harassing me, so eventually I took him out again. And yeah, and then it was after all that, after I'd given him his evening meds, like I'd sort of been trying to cope with my mood. I spent some time on Berserk website. I think they're either based in Queensland or Melbourne, I can never remember. And I was like, maybe I can find something to spend money on, and maybe that'll make me feel better, like buying people Christmas presents, or I don't know. Open up a bunch of tabs and then was like, shit, hey. Then I went back to YouTube and saw more of those. Look, he sleeps with a blep. Oh my god. Oh my god, dog. Anyway, so, yeah, YouTube, looked at some more of those terrarium things, and then was like, okay, so after I did his evening meds, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a thing because I found the free one, and then yeah, grabbed everything together in about 10 minutes or so, and then so this is just before dinner. It was really quick. I could do a lot of that, really. I could go crazy quite easily. But anyway, no, this kid looking after me, and yeah, I think that's about all we've got. Um, blep.